Okay, we're going to look at covalent bonds. So your answer's up top. This is what's important to remember. In covalent bonds, atoms share one or more electrons with each other to form bonds. Each atom is left with a complete outer shell, and the covalent bond forms between two nonmetals. So if you're looking at them, if they're both nonmetals, you know it's going to be a covalent bond. So yesterday we did this one, and this one. So we have 3 left. I'm going to start at chlorine plus chlorine. Okay, so the first thing we do is we draw our Lewis dot structures. So here's my chlorine. It's in row 17, so it has 7 valence electrons. So we have chlorine, it has 7, and we have another chlorine. Okay, so we need to look, how can they share electrons so both of their valence shells are full, or so both have 8? So if this chlorine shares this electron with this one, and that one shares that electron, okay, they can share these 2, and then each will have 8. So I'm going to rewrite this for you. Okay, so this electron originally belonged here, and this one belonged there, but now they are sharing them. So this chlorine has 8 electrons in its outer shell, so it's full, it's happy. This one has 8 electrons in its outer shell, so it's full, it's happy. So we can draw this bond. This is a single bond because it's only sharing 1 pair of electrons. So we can draw this like this, or we can write Cl, and there's 2 of them, okay? Let's move on to carbon and 2 oxygens. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, so this is covalent, they're going to share. The first thing we want to do is we want to draw the Lewis dot. Carbon has 4 valence electrons. Oxygen, so carbon is here. It has 4, it's in row 14. So it has 4. The other one is oxygen. Oxygen's right here. It's in 16, so it has 6 valence electrons. Okay, so we're going to draw, we have 2 of them. We're going to draw those Lewis dot diagrams. So how can these share so that they're all full? Well, if carbon shares 2 with this oxygen, and it shares 2 electrons, 1, 2 with this oxygen, they would all be full. So we can write this like this. Carbon's here, it's going to share 2 electrons with this oxygen, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 valence electrons, and it's going to share 2 with this other electron, or this other oxygen. Okay, and so these are full and these are full, but carbon isn't full. So oxygen's going to have to share some with carbon. Okay, so oxygen shares 2 with carbon. This one shares 2, and this one's going to share 2. And so this oxygen has 8 in its outer shell. This oxygen has 8, and this carbon has 8. So now they're all happy. We're sharing 2 pairs of electrons between each of these atoms. So we can write this, we can write it like this. So we have an oxygen, it's sharing 2 pairs with carbon, which is sharing 2 pairs with another oxygen. So we would write that like this, or we can write our carbon, and we have 2 oxygens, CO2. So that's how we'd write that. And finally, we have our carbon and our 4 hydrogens. So step 1, we're going to draw our Lewis dot structure. If we look at carbon, carbon is in row 4, so it has, or 14, so it has 4 valence electrons. So carbon has 4 valence electrons, and then it has 4 hydrogens. Each hydrogen has 1 valence electron. In covalent bonding, they're going to share. So if this carbon shares with hydrogen, so this is hydrogen's electron, is going to share with carbon, and carbon's going to share this electron with hydrogen. Okay, so now hydrogen is full, because remember, Hydrogen only has one energy shell, which is filled with 2, so hydrogen's full. My carbon isn't full yet, but we still have 3 hydrogens to go. So we have hydrogen here. It's going to share its electron with carbon. Carbon's going to share its electron with hydrogen. So now hydrogen is full. We still have 2 more hydrogens to go. So this hydrogen is going to share its electron with this carbon, and this carbon's going to share its electron with this hydrogen. So now that hydrogen is full. We have 1 more hydrogen to go. It's going to share its electron with carbon. Carbon's going to share its electron with hydrogen. So now this hydrogen has a full shell, and this carbon is sharing all these sets of electrons. And so now carbon has 2, 4, 6, 8, so its valence shell is full. We can write this like this. So it's only sharing 1 set of electrons, so it has 1 bond there. So we can write this molecule just like this. Or we can do the chemical formula. We have carbon, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 hydrogens, so we can go CH4. Okay, that's how we do, that's how we draw our covalent bonds when they share electrons.